Hey, yo, what's up, YouTube, man? It's your boy, Action Jackson, man. And in today's video, I'm going to be bringing you guys my ways of how we beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night for our first playoff game. So, before we hop into the video, I appreciate if you guys will like the video, subscribe, comment, and share my video with anyone who you think might enjoy my content, man. So, as I am staying consistent, I always show the injury report. We have had really great news coming up for this game. A lot of our key guys that were out, like Tyler Biadasz, Leighton Vander Esch, Jonathan Hankins, all three of those guys, and Deron Bland was also added to the injury report. Those guys are all coming back, and they're all going to be ready, available for us on Monday night, which is really key because we need Tyler Biadasz coming back as our starting center because our run game hasn't looked that well anyway, especially when we lost Terrence Steele. But it didn't look much better after that, after losing Tyler Biadasz. So I'm blessed that we're having him back. DeMarcus Lawrence will play. Trayvon Mullins out with an illness. They're keeping him away from the team. They don't want him spreading anything around. Michael Parsons, he was out of practice for personal reasons. He just he just brought in a baby girl into the world, so he missed practice for his second child. And then Tyron Smith is going to play. Leighton Vander Esch is going to play, which is really great for our defense. Him and Jonathan Hankins coming back is definitely going to help us bolster our run game and our run defense. For the Bucs, they have a lot of guys that are doubtful and questionable. I'm not going to go through every single one of them. Mike Evans, Julio, SMB, or Sean Murphy-Bunting, they're going to play. But they're saying Kyle Rudolph is doubtful. Nick Leverett is doubtful as well. So then they're also getting back Ryan Jensen as well. So Donovan Smith, he's questionable. So before I even go into the game, I kind of want to talk about the storylines that are leading into this game. There's a bunch of negative things that you have going against you in this game. And, like you've never beaten Tom Brady before. This is your third time. This Monday is going to be your third time playing Tom Brady in a Tampa Bay uniform. And you have a losing record against them. That will change on Monday night. But, you've never beaten Tom Brady ever. You never beat him when he played for the Bucs. This is now your second time in the same season that you are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The first time that you played them this season, the first game of the season, Devin White and a lot of players that were calling out Kellen Moore in particular, saying how they knew Dallas wasn't going to be committed to the run and that they used their form of the short passing game as an extension of the run game. So, there's a lot of people calling out Kellen Moore, a lot of people calling out this team. So what that basically means for me with all the negative storylines that you're getting, these weird stats that if you wear a certain jersey, colorway of a jersey, that you're going to lose a game and you have a losing record in navy tops and white pants and everything like that. It's just crazy narratives that people throw out and everything like that. So basically, if you're the Cowboys, you have nothing really to lose in this game. Everyone's going to talk crap about the Cowboys no matter win, lose, or draw. So it's always key for us to go out there and just play our game anyway. There's always a lot of pressure for you when you're a Dallas Cowboy, with all the past, accomplishments that we had as an organization. But one thing I wanted to touch on that I really loved what Mike McCarthy brought up in the meeting room that I heard, from many Dallas reporters like Michael Gelkin and everybody else who broke that story about how, Mike McCarthy brought out baby pictures of all the Cowboy players that are on the team right now and was telling them like, hey, everything that happened in the past, you were babies. It doesn't matter. It's time for you to create your own legacy and everything like that. It's for you now to decide the new history of the Cowboys, which is something I really love because they try to put all this immense pressure of what, if the Cowboys were to lose a regular season game or anything like that, they always say, well, back in the 90s, well, forget that, man. That was 30 years ago. You can't worry about the 90s now. Now it's all about 2023, about what you can do moving forward. And everything starts with the legacy of a Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, everybody like that. It's very crucial that they want to make their legacy, they want to cement their name in this league, that they're going to have to go out on Monday and play their tails off. Every single person on this roster has to, and including the coaching staff and everything like that. So, I just did a little switch up, for the playoffs and everything like that. So now my ways of how we are going to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The number one thing and something you want to do throughout this entire playoff stretch is you want to set the tone. You want to let the opposing team know that we're not here to play no games. We're here to come in, take care of business, and get out clean, everything like that. So, of course, we want to set the tone. Whether we're receiving or deferring, it's very clear that we play physical and fast, man. It's clear that we have to do that against this team. No penalties. We can't turn the ball over. You have to play very keen and concise when you're playing against somebody like Tom Brady. The amount of experiences that he has in these sort of games, in these single elimination games, he's been there, done that. So it's very key that when you are playing a team like this, you do set the tone early and often. Another thing I want you to do other than setting the tone is, another part of adding to setting the tone is, once that first offensive possession, you need to score a touchdown. The first time you touch that ball, whether your defense gets a great three and out, whatever the case might be, we have to score early and often and pounce on Tampa early. You don't want to be playing around with Tampa. You don't want this game to come down with a minute left. You're up by 3 points. Tampa has the ball with a minute, 2 timeouts, and they got the ball at the 30 and they're driving. You don't want that to happen. You want to get rid of this team, get them in, get them out. Like I said, it's clear and evident that you are the better team. You are a better team than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And it's been shown that in all throughout the regular season. Yes, you have more wins than them with 12 and they have 8. Obviously, when you come into the playoffs, records do not matter. But you have way better games. You've been more consistent than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have been all year. The Tampa Bay, Buccaneers scored, I believe, 30 points only once. And that was against the Chiefs, but the Chiefs were blowing them out already by halftime. So those were just garbage time points. But other than that, they were struggling just to hit 20 points. Don't let this be the game that we're all of a sudden that the Bucs figure out the things they've been missing out on. Like right now, they haven't been able to run the ball well. They're one of the most. Tom Brady leads the league in pass attempts. So don't have them all of a sudden in this game find their stride, get them out of rhythm, things like that. So, and also stop the run. Like I said, they've been horrible at running the ball. It's very key that for guys like Jonathan Hinkin, Leighton Vander Esch, Damone Clark, everyone across that defensive front seven, it's clear that we have to stop the run. And it's also that our corners have to come up and they have to play physical, man, in the run game as well, including Trevon Diggs. Trevon Diggs is not really somebody who wants to stick his nose in the run game. But we want to go far in the playoffs, and you're going to play you're going to run into teams like today. I'm making this video, Sunday morning, and last night, you saw the Niners and the way they was able to run the ball. They're going to be a team that if you don't want to stick your nose in, to help and tackle in the run game, it's going to be a long night. So, Deron Bland here does a great job, and coming in and wanting to tackle. Nashawn Wright, same thing, but Trevon Diggs going to definitely step up in that department. So make sure, we stop the run. Utilize your playmakers. That's something that we don't necessarily do in big games, which kind of irritates me, but we've been doing that this season. You just look at, for examples, other than the week 1, we've been doing that week 2. We put the ball, against the Bengals more in Tony Pollard's hands, but when we played Minnesota, same thing. We played fast, physical, and early, and we got rid of that Minnesota team early and often. And y'all saw that, Minnesota's a light years better this year than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But you saw how, Minnesota got the ball. We went out there, got a strip sack, and you just see how the momentum of that game switched early once we got that game, And then also we did utilize our playmakers. As you saw, we put the ball in Tony Pollard's hands. We utilized CeeDee Lamb, Dalton Schultz, but we have to make it a clear point that we get the ball in the hands of CeeDee Lamb, get him going, put him in the slot, put him on the outside, put him in at running back, put him all across this offense to create mismatches on everyone. It's clear that we do that with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is a big, keen part in us to winning this game. Also, same thing, utilize Tony Pollard, put him on mismatches between Levante David and Devin White. Utilize your other playmakers and your tight ends. I don't know why we sometimes like to get away from our tight ends, but it's clear that, use our tight ends. We have to get more into our bag of bootlegs and getting Dak on the move, because Dak is an excellent quarterback when he's on the move and he's throwing on the run, and he's using his improv abilities and things like that. So it's key that we do we utilize our playmakers, get them the ball early and often, like CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz. Move Micah around. It's key that we do that. I don't want him solely playing the end. I know that the first time that when we did play the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, we were doing that. We were putting him on, A gaps, B gaps. We're putting him on the edge, specifically on Donovan Smith and everything like that. And then once Donovan Smith got his butt kicked against Micah Parsons, that's when they finally put in Leonard Fournette and have him start chip Micah Parsons. So it's key that we move around Micah. Make sure, yes, we put him in favorable matchups against the weakest link on their offensive line, whether that is Donovan Smith or whoever it may be on that weak link of the team, Shaq Mason, whoever. Put him in back more at linebacker. We've been hearing a lot that, he said, with a quote that, he's catching a second win. He's going to play a whole lot and everything like that. He's going to be much better than he was in the regular season, which I do believe. And also with Micah Parsons, man, it's key that we also put him in at linebacker too, because we have a really good front four that we can run out there with Sam Williams, DeMarcus Lawrence, Osa, Big Bo, Quentin Bohanna, Jonathan Hankins, those guys, Chauncey Golston, which is somebody I want the Cowboys to use in the interior or on the edge. Same thing, move him around in different matchups, to get really well run fits as well. So it's key that we move Micah around. He's another playmaker, of course. And one thing I do want to mention is that if we want to have a far and a deep playoff run, it's key that we get big performances out of your stars. This is what you need. You need your Micah Parsons to step up. You need him to play phenomenal. Same thing with Dak, CeeDee Lamb, Trayvon Diggs. Those are your four pillars of your team. Of course, Zach Martin, DeMarcus Lawrence, all those other guys need to step up as well. But you need big performances from those four players. You need it from CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott, Micah Parsons, Trayvon Diggs, and of course Tony Pollard as well for your five pillars. Those who you need to ball and to step up and to show up and show out in this game. And my last 3 points is going to be, how about cornerback 2, whoever that is going to be on Sunday, whether that is Nashawn Wright, Xavier Rhodes, whoever's playing on that boundary. We have to make sure that we're getting help on that side, because most likely they're going to try to get mismatches. Byron Leftwich is a really smart offensive coordinator as well. Yeah, he's going to want to pick on and expose the weakest link on the defense. Tom Brady will also help in part of doing that as well. So it's key that we saw week 17 against the Carolina Panthers that if you put a bum on anybody, that's anybody in the league. But if you put a mediocre, average corner on a great receiver like a Chris Godwin or a Mike Evans will have 4 or 5 touchdowns. So it's key that we have Malik or whoever's playing on top on the roof, that we roll coverage on that side to cornerback 2, make sure that they're not trying to pick on him with a deep ball, with a post route, anything like that. So let's make sure that we do help out cornerback 2. That's something I've been preaching ever since we lost Anthony Brown. Even when we had Anthony Brown, I always wanted to have safety help, but especially when cornerback 2 has been getting picked on ever since that Jacksonville game. So it's key that we do that. I already mentioned earlier in the game in the part of setting the tone, make sure that we don't turn the ball over, giving Tom Brady the ball and plus territory, scoring territory. Dak Prescott has to be way better in his handling of the ball. Got to make sure with the exchange of the snaps, those are clean. We also got to make sure that we're taking care of the ball. If nothing is there, throw it away. Or if not, utilize your legs, Dak, because that's the element I wish that the Cowboys would use a little bit more often. And we saw that in Chicago. We saw that in Philly as well, that we can utilize Dak Prescott's legs. Let's do it. We were able to do it, everything like that. And I also feel like we can also still run the ball on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well, because the first time that we did play them week 1, we were averaging 5 yards a pop, and we were also utilizing Dak Prescott's legs, which is something I want the Cowboys, of course, to use. Also, finish the game. Like I said, don't make this a close game. Don't make this one of those nonchalant, one of those Tom Brady. Oh, this is gonna be a Tom Brady moment when you're, like I said, you're up by 3, you're up by 2. There's a minute 30 left in the game. Timeout with, the Bucs have it and they're driving. Don't make this a close game. Take care of this team. They've been inconsistent all year. Don't have this be the game, like I said again, to where they finally find their mojo and something that wasn't working all through 18 weeks all of a sudden works against you. So let's go out there. Let's handle business, man. I'm really excited for this game. I really feel like we're going to come out here. I'm confident that we are going to come out here and beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because, like I said, all week, everyone's been clowning the Cowboys, and that's just who we are. And so other things I want to leave, I want to leave you guys with before we head out with the video. If you guys are even nervous or anything like that, it's that, like I said, we have nothing to lose. Every single time you look at this throughout this entire year, every single time we've been doubted. Like after that Packers game, we lost to a 14-point lead against the Packers, and then you turn around, people are saying you guys are trash, whatever, right? 4 days later, you turn around, you beat the dog crap out of the Vikings. Same thing. Everyone was like, when you blew your 17-point lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then I think again 4 or 5 days later, you had to go play the Philadelphia Eagles. Same thing. Everyone was saying, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to blow you guys out. It's going to be over by halftime, everything like that. You went out there, you took care of business. And, and another thing also is that the Dallas Cowboys, they've never lost in back-to-back games. And every single time that they have not lost a back-to-back game, they've also went on a streak of winning games as well. So if you look back on the patterns, just to start out the season, when you lost week 1, you won 4 games straight. Then you lost during the game to Philly. Then you went on a 2-game win streak, and then you lost to the Packers coming out of the bye. Then you went on another win streak, 3-game win streak, and so on and so forth. So we come out here and we win. We're guaranteed to at least go on a roll. So, which I believe will happen because, like I said before, once the Cowboys, they come out here and they have that confidence into beating a quarterback like Tom Brady, I think the Cowboys have the ultimate confidence going into any game that they go into, whether that is Philly or the Niners, depending on what happens on Sunday's games, So, yeah, man, that's about it for the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. Stay safe, stay blessed. And hope you guys have a nice day and enjoy all the playoff games. Bye.